Frank Absher is here. What are we going to talk about? Talk about your book?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, let's talk about that.
Then we can get out your hall closet and.
Yeah, right.
This book comes out Monday, by the way.
Oh, I got an advance copy.
Yes.
Hey, thank you very much.
It'll be in the stores Monday. It's called KMOX, The Voice of St. Louis, and it's a pictorial history. It is just a kick because, as you know, radio is based upon the imagination. And so this gives people a chance to look and see pictures of historic KMOX, not present, because we wanted to focus on what this station has done in the past. So it goes up to about 1990. And honest to goodness, it was such a thrill to put this stuff together because people have no idea that station at one time was a hillbilly power.
I saw the pictures. I didn't know that either.
Had live hillbilly bands and morning and night.
And the Voice of St. Louis came from the original backers of the station, though, including the Globe Democrat and E. Ray Lansing.
Right.
Yeah, one of
Lansing
the legends.
E. Lansing Ray.
E. Lansing Ray. Thank you. One of the icons of the Globe Democrat, even 100 years later. Well, not quite 100 years later, but anyway.
It was an amazing feat because a group of it's comparable to St. Louis's civic progress of the 70s and 80s.
I was going to say as it once was. Yeah.
And they decided we need a powerful radio station to promote the area. And so they all pooled their resources and built this radio station.
See, we're going to start calling WBGZ the voice of the Riverbend.
I like it.
Huh? Yeah. Because we have no competition for one thing, at least not locally.
And what a voice it is.
We do so much local programming and all that. But
in all honesty, I do want to say this because it's taken for granted by a lot of your listeners. But I was talking to Sam, the general manager. This is what radio should be.
Yes.
It really is. It serves the community.
Yeah, I know. That's why I enjoy it so much myself.
Mm-hmm.
So Frank, I'm a professional too, folks.
Professional what?
I don't know. Clown. But Frank is now deeply involved with media history.
Yes.
You may recall me talking last year in October about the Globe Democrat reunion, how wonderful it was, how great to see all my old friends, et cetera, et cetera. That was put together by the St. Louis Media Foundation.
Media History
Foundation.
I started that about a year ago because we really want to find and preserve this history before it gets lost. So, for example, all morning today, from about 11 o'clock until lunchtime and beyond, I was in all of your antique shops here looking for media history. Found two great Globe Democrat pieces.
Really?
And so what we do is we acquire that, then we preserve it all so that researchers, family members, and so forth can look it up. And I've got a radio history website, but we're also developing a media history website.
Neat. And all local media.
Yeah. And by that I mean everything in Metro East, all of St. Louis, St. Charles, etc.
And when we had the party back in October, 25 years to the date, no less, that was amazing. All the paraphernalia, all the history I saw?
That was part of the collection.
Oh, that's so neat. Where are you going to house this?
This is in the St. Louis Public Library, which is now undergoing a big renovation.
Yes.
We'll have an area set aside for the media history, and it'll be an interchanging display so that you may see copies of old Negro newspapers or German newspapers, radio station T-shirts, and we have over 500 tapes already. In fact, I've got a couple of tapes I want to play for you today.
Amazing. Would you like? I've got one plugged in now.
Let me set this up. This is from KMOX in 1941, and we are talking about radio the way it used to be. They had a full orchestra, they had a full chorus, and this show, the Ben Feld Show, just gives you some idea of a live presentation.
1941.
Yeah.
Before either one of us was born.
Yes.
For really good beer, drink the best. Drink Alpenbrau. It's the beer that has
extra
taste,
extra
goodness,
extra
quality spelled
Alpenbrau, the best of brews presents to you the latest news. USO needs lots and lots of dollars. USO needs 5s and 10s and 20s too. Call them up today to come and see you. Extra, extra, here's the latest news. the opera pleases thousands every night.
Oh, that's enough of that.
Okay, that's all done live, though, in a studio.
Absolutely, live studio, and they had massive studios in the Mart Building downtown. They were an originator for CBS programs that were heard all over the country. And so I'm talking about a full-size orchestra. As you see the pictures in the book, the hillbilly groups, 40 to 50 people in these groups.
And roughhousing before they went on the air.
Wrestling on the stage.
His shirt torn off.
Yes. Have you got the other disc in there? This one we'll want number 11. And this gives you some idea. Let me kind of set this up. Hillbilly music in the 30s, 40s, and 50s was a staple on every radio station in the country. And they would have live groups. Again, they did not depend on the records. And in St. Louis, every station had at least one hillbilly band. KMOX had this mass of hillbilly people who were interchangeable. So one guy might be in 4 different groups. This is a little cut from 1950, KMOX's Barnyard Follies.
We were born at this time, though.
Presenting the Barnyard Follies with the national champion hillbillies.
Take me back to the big Ozark Mountain, where the skies are always blue. Where I want to be and want to see all those folks so kind and true. Take me back to the flowers and sunshine, and from there I'll never roam. Where the folks are glad to meet you, and where the smile greets you in my Ozark Mountain home. Well, gee,
Here you are, neighbors. It's music from the heart of America.
Where are you finding all these?
It's amazing. We find tapes, and in many cases, the big 16-inch audio discs.
Oh, yes, I remember
And that's
those.
what this was on. And I've got a Clayton Studio, that helps us digitize all these materials. And so we're able to preserve them. And people can hear exactly what was heard back in those days. It's just fascinating to me because folks can't imagine KMOX being hillbilly. But what that was is that's programming that was aimed at the farm community.
And it was also one of the first CBS owned and operated station to have a 50,000 watt transmission.
And that was 1931.
So they're reaching all over. So get all the market you can.
And the pictures that you will see in the book, KMOX, the voice of St. Louis, are of these hillbilly groups, of your favorite announcers. You know, we think of the best sports announcers in the country, the Jack Bucks, the Harry Carey.
Yes.
But there was another man for his generation who was considered the best in the country, France Laux. And France was so popular in the 1930s that CBS brought him out to do the World Series and the All-Star Games on a national basis, yet here he was, the play-by-play man at KMOX. This was the essence of what that station has been over the years, was the best in the Midwest, in some cases the best in the nation.
This is slightly off the topic. Where does KMOX stand now, though? It still has a lot of reach.
It does.
A lot of market share.
Yes, and it is not what it once was, in part because there are more radio stations, and in part because what we were providing to the listeners in 1980, they couldn't get anywhere else. Now you can punch that little button there on your computer and get the radar.
Yeah.
Nobody had access to radar in those days. You punch another button, it's got the traffic report. Nobody had that then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it gave the listeners everything they wanted and needed, but now they can get that other places.
How many years did you spend there?
It's 4 years.
Just
but
4.
it was 4 wonderful years. It was a great way to end a career.
Well, yeah, you say in your foreword, too, you'd always wanted to get to KMOX.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And because you started off in radio.
I did. Started in Fulton, Missouri in 1967.
And where were you born in Southern Illinois?
The closest hospital to where I was my parents were living was in East St. Louis. So I was born at Christian Welfare Hospital and lived in Nashville.
Okay, I know Nashville.
And you know what was great was as a kid in the 50s, no air conditioning.
Oh, of course.
Of course. And so you had the screen doors. You could walk down the street in Nashville any night and hear Harry Carey coming out of every doorway with Cardinal baseball.
Yes. I know. You could sit in the backyard in South St. Louis, and somebody else would be out there too. And you might, you maybe didn't bring your radio. That's right. They had it on 2 doors away.
Exactly.
You could hear it then too. Yeah.
And it was almost sobering to have the kind of power that you had as an announcer on KMOX, not because anybody abused it, but because Don Miller in the traffic copter could say, there's just been an accident on the Poplar Street Bridge, you might want to avoid it, and you could watch cars turning around that quickly.
Yeah.
It was just an amazing feeling.
What a great time that must have been.
It was.
Yeah. I so miss the Globe Democrat. But again, because of modern media, you'll never see anything like the Globe Democrat.
That's right. And that's why I did the book, Mike, because I wanted something tangible that people could have in their homes, that libraries could have, that show people what it was like. Not because I'm saying it's the panacea, but because we'll never see it again.
Well, and the other thing is, too, you're a 21st century guy because you're building a website where people are going to be able to see this.
There is a website now for anybody who is interested in St. Louis radio history, and you can go there and you can hear KMOX, you can see several hundred articles that I've written over the years. You can type in an announcer's name, and you can see every station he or she worked at. It's stlradio.com. And it hasn't been updated in a while because, frankly, my webmaster stopped working for free. So until I can get somebody else to actually work for free, stlradio.com is the place. And certainly, if you are at all a fan of KMOX, at all a fan of area history, the book is just fun.
And where can I find the book?
Most every major bookstore will have it. A lot of the independents. I know Left Bank Books over in St. Louis is going to carry it because I've just booked a signing there.
Good.
But this is from Arcadia Publishing, and they do a lot of these. In fact, there are several Alton books.
Yes,
Arcadia.
I recognize the sepia cover.
And so what's going to happen is on Monday, this will be available to anybody who would like to buy it and take it home. It's just a kick. I had so much fun.
I've enjoyed paging through it already. Frank, listen, thanks so much for coming by. We'll do this again.
I hope so.
Oh, let's.
And next time you buy?
Well, we can talk about that.